bill that supporters say would lower your insurance rate moved out of a House committee today. 24-hour News 8's political reporter Rick Albin is talking with those who favor and oppose the bill. He joins us now with what they have to say. Rick?
Well, the changes made in committee today are meant to save money, yes, but also to designed to attract votes in the full House. As so many times before, almost everybody agrees something should be done about Michigan's no-fault auto insurance. But there is far from unanimous agreement as to what that something should be.
We all want to save money.
Representative Joe Bellino Jr. of Monroe would probably find widespread agreement with that statement, particularly in the context of auto insurance. He thinks he and his fellow committee members have found a way to do that. He offered an amendment that was agreed to that would take the existing bill, which creates a three-tiered personal injury protection system, unlimited, $500,000 or $250,000, and then provides for mandatory rate reductions in the PIP portion of 10, 20, and 40% respectively. So, how do you do that?
We know that we need to save money for the people, and we need the insurance companies to make some sacrifice too.
But the Democratic leader in the House, Representative Sam Singh from East Lansing, says the bill offers no guarantee of lower rates.
There's huge loopholes that allow the insurance industry to be able to go to the insurance commissioner to opt out of any of those savings, and so there's a lot of skepticism from
that skepticism could be a problem. The best guess of some supporters of the no-fault reform bill is that Republicans are far short of the 55 votes needed to pass. The bill is in Democratic hands because there can't be more than 41, 42, maybe at the outside 43 Republicans. So you're going to need 12, 15 Democrats. Does that seem likely to you?
Well, I think Democrats have always said we want to bring down rates. We want to make sure that that's the key priority, but we don't want to slash people's benefits. And the program that is coming out of the committee does slash people's benefits.
Representative Singh says there are other bills that have been introduced that he believes would better deal with the issue of no fault. For now, the committee-passed legislation is all that's been moved along to the House. And one person close to the process told me that it's now time to start rounding up support. If they get to a majority and that bill was to go to the Senate, it's going to face a very difficult road there in the upper chamber as well. Brian?